Frank is in the building. Frank, you're looking very, very dapper tonight as ever. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm ably assisted tonight in my interview by your own chairman. Julian Wynn's with me tonight. Give him a round of applause to Julian Wynn! Julian is a huge fight fan, ex-boxer, as Martin mentioned before as well. Huge. So you're going to chip in, aren't you, with some great questions as well? Yeah, a bad boxer. Bad boxer. That makes two of us, mate. We only got one decent one on here. We really are. Frank, let's go. We haven't got an awful long time before we get into the awards tonight, but let's go straight back to the beginning, if you may. How do you get started in boxing?
My dad always wanted me to be a boxer, so when I got 8, he bought me a pair of boxing gloves and sent me down the boxing club in Hillsfield to get beaten up by a policeman. At first, and then for about a week I was beaten up by a policeman, and at the end of the week I beat up the policeman. So yeah, I learned it from Hillsfield Boxing Club.
Well, you had a very, very good amateur career, Frank.
Yeah.
Tell us a wee bit about your amateur career.
Amateur career, I had 3 junior fights, 1-2, and we lost 1. And the senior was 21 fights, lost 1, got my revenge of a guy called Joe Christian from Ireland. So yeah, I had a good innings as an amateur. And the senior was second to none when I won the ABA's heavyweight championship. You know, it was 18 to win it, and it still stands today. The record hasn't been beaten.
Yeah. And you think about how long that record stood for, lady, I'm the youngest person ever to win the ABA heavyweight title. Julian, your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I mean, people probably don't realise winning an ABA title is something quite special. You know, there's many amateur boxers strive to win an ABA and never do it. To do it heavyweight, it tends to be a bit later as an amateur to win it. And yeah, for Frank to do it at 18 and hold that record is pretty amazing. And yeah, as I say, between an ABA,
Brilliant, brilliant. So when you turn pro, Frank,
Yeah.
how surprised were you when the telephone went to say you're having your first professional fight?
I was very surprised that we never had the phone. Ladies outside in the Terry Laws with Mo Hope when they came to get my mum's blessing to turn professional. And at first she went having none of it, but when she heard about she'd get a new house, new shoes, new bag, she changed her mind very fast. You know? Yeah.
Julian, you yourself, obviously a massive boxing fan. Did you follow Frank's career?
I did follow Frank's career. I saw Frank fight when I was a junior myself. Met Frank many years ago at Earl's Court. We went back and I said, Frank, do you drink? And he said, what? And I said, what do you drink? And he said, well, half a lug is about the most I do. And then I hadn't seen Frank for a long time. I said to him, do you drink? And he said, what did I say last time?
Yeah, brilliant stuff, brilliant stuff. You evoked a lot of memories for everyone in this room, Frank, over your amazing career. And ladies and gentlemen, like I always say, if you're going to say professional, I don't think we've got any would-be fighters in here whatsoever at all. Is it a sponsored walk? If you're going to turn professional the way this fella did, because ladies and gentlemen, his first 22 fights, Frank had 21 wins. First 22 fights, 21 wins, 22 wins, 22 knockouts, ladies and gentlemen, 100% record.
In this day and age, more or less, you know, you go back to some of the super middleweights we've had in this country, like Nigel Benn, he was knocking people out for fun, but nowadays people get to a point and it doesn't happen so much, so what Frank did was pretty amazing. Let's not underestimate, you know, it took a long time to get that world title, but it was harder to do back then.
Yeah, but you are the epitome of if it first you know, so say keep trying, Frank, you always did that. It sounds easy winning your first 22 fights. It sounds easy knocking 22 people over. But you had some tough fights in that particular period. One particular fight I'd like to tell our wonderful audience about tonight is the fight with Jumbo Cummins. He was a different cookie, wasn't he?
Counselling, yeah, he was a different cookie. Got let out of prison for murder. Still had the bully. Went to distance. He drew with Joe Frazier, and they wanted me to fight him. I thought I had muscles, upon muscles, but he was like a gorilla. And when I mean like a gorilla, I thought I was fighting one. Looking at him, I got some ring for me. Yeah, and I got to the round one. the end of round one, they caught me on the tip of my head. I didn't know where I was. I was away with the fairies for a little bit until about 7 rounds. You know, I knocked him out, and I didn't know how I knocked him out. And Harry came up to me. That was a good punch he caught you with Frank. What punch was that, Harry? All I could say, I remember me saying, you know what I mean, you know what I mean. To get the interview over so I can go and rest myself. I was seeing stars, you know. But yeah, that was a tough fight, that was.
And for the younger guests in here, ladies and gentlemen, Frank is referring to, of course, the late, great, fantastic boxing commentator, the fantastic Harry Carpenter, ladies and gentlemen, who became big friends, and we missed Frank. How's the day going? That must evoke some memories for you, Julian, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Fights back then, and certainly Harry, what a legend to boxing was, apart from the comedy moments with yourself. He was a legend of commentary for anyone.
He's done it more better than me.
Yeah, for those who are not fortunate enough or younger, didn't get to see Frank for me. Amazing. And like I said, the knockouts were fun. You know, do you think back just to those days, and was it just getting the job done, or what was it?
In boxing, you don't get paid for overtime, you know what I mean? So you go around and mess around and get a cut in the eye or something like that. But the best thing to do is get mad, get the check, make sure the check doesn't bounce, and then another fight. Yeah.
But you came from a large family as well, Frank.
Yeah, family. I was the youngest, and I had 3 sisters and 2 brothers. But yeah, I was spoiled, kind of, you know what I mean? But yeah, every Sunday or every Friday or whatever they got paid, they had a brown envelope, so you should take the notes out and get the change, and I was rich every Friday.
Well, you know what I'm going to say now. I'm the same as Frank. I got a large family. I had 6 brothers and 6 brothers and sisters as well. And to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't know what it was like to sleep on my own until I got married. Anyway. So you get your first defeat comes to James Bone Crusher Smith, but you dust yourself down. You win the European title. You beat the humongous Angus Eklund.
Yeah.
He was massive, Angus Eklund, wasn't he?
Very massive. I think he's such true size. I was 18. I think he weighed about 19, 20 stone. His wife was about 4 feet tall. I knew it, he told me. Yeah, he's a very, very tough guy, but unfortunate. For me, I beat him in the 5th round, I think, knocked him out.
Certainly did. So that made you European heavyweight champion, ladies and gentlemen, at that point. But then you come to the notice now, worldwide. People are looking for contenders, and Frank's right up there. So you get your first crack at the title. Yeah. And Julian, you remember this guy as well. In my mind, a very, very underrated heavyweight title winner in terrible Tim Witherspoon.
Witherspoon, yeah. Tim Witherspoon, I think he didn't live the proper lifestyle, but he was excellent. He could have done more, couldn't he? But he didn't quite live between his life, maybe. Is that true? Yeah. Pardon?
He gave me an arse whipping.
Yeah, up until, later on he didn't, but yeah, what a boxer. What a boxer. And to fight him and then go on to some of the others you fought.
Yeah,
a bit scary.
He fell foul with Don King, didn't he, really, as well, which really harmed his career as well.
I with him all 24/7, he's scared of Don King and his pals, but that's the way boxing goes sometimes.
Have you got a gun on you, Frank?
No, I need the trousers.
What for the ladies there? What for the ladies there?
I wonder why we couldn't get the ladies away earlier with those photos.
Sorry about that.
Well, let's skip it a little bit. We haven't got that long, but it's okay. You're the guest, you can say anything you like. It's Julian's job's on the line, not yours.
I'm not getting this kid next year, that's for sure.
Let's skip it along. We're going to go to an iconic fight now, ladies and gentlemen. Las Vegas, 1989, Las Vegas Hilton, where this man takes on the baddest man on the planet, the one and only Mike Tyson, ladies and gentlemen. Frank, that is a big ask, a man at the peak of his powers.
It was, but he was supposed to come over here and fight at Wembley, but at the time he was married to a young lady called Robin Gibbons, and she said bark, he would bark. And she says stand at 1 foot, he stand at 1 foot. But I think he crashed his Porsche his car, his Bentley, all into trees and whatever, because he loved it so much that he crashed the cars that she feels sorry for him, but it never worked out that way. But the fact was phoned about 8 different times, but I'm in there trying my best, but my best man good enough.
We all remember this fight, Julian, don't we? We all stayed up to 2 o'clock in the morning.
I had to tune into a radio back then.
Yeah.
Punch around the radio with the cows listening to it, and
Could you not afford a telly?
well, no, not where we always done. Anyway, I just clearly remember, hearing those words, Frank's hurting, and I'll let you carry on from there, really.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, you're always very humble about this point. But let's be honest, Frank, you did hurt him in that first round.
Yeah, I did. Rob did not hell with my heart. And when you go with my heart, and then Frank does and body cup at the same time. At first, I should have got in. He was more experienced than me, but me knocking out a pounders very, very early made me look more better than I was, but I needed to get more experience round under my belt. But I went in, whatever, if they said you got to fight him, the gorilla or whatever, I got in there and tried with the gorilla. If you tried your best, you tried your best. You can't do no more than that,
And you had sparred with Mike in your early days as well.
Yeah, we went down to Catskill Mountains. I was about 18 and a half, and I met him, he was about 15, but he looked like a mean little so-and-so. You know what I mean? But he's a vicious so-and-so. What you got to be to go into the boxing room, you can't go around pitter-pattering around. It's either you or him, so it's better that you get him out of the way as quick as possible and worry about your experience in the gym later on. You can practice on moves, but once you get in there, you check if the kids pay, do the school fees, if the kids nappies, you got to think about, and get hungry and go, try your best.
Well, you certainly did. So you definitely hurt him in that first round, and you know what I'm going to say now, Frank. I'm very, very blessed with what I do. I get to work with you, lovely people down here at the NADC Awards. But I do all sorts of bits and bobs. I was lucky enough to work with Mike Tyson on 2 of his tours, and I asked the question of Mike to an audience similar to yourself, and I asked him about that punch in the first round, and Mike Tyson said live on stage every night that at that stage of his career, no one had hit him as hard as Frank did in that first round, ladies and gentlemen. So there you go.
He really did hurt him, and if things had just changed slightly, a few seconds different, who knows? And as the fight went on, he got tough, didn't he?
Yeah, it did get tough, yeah.
Well, let's take you back there, Frank. Let's take you back. So it's ding ding,
Yeah.
end of the first round.
Right.
The crowd's going wild. The media in America are going wild. Your good friend Harry Carpenter,
Right.
he's supposed to be unbiased. He's not. He's saying, "Get in there, Frank. Get it done." He got told off by his bosses at the BBC for not being impartial. So it's ding ding, end of the first round. You've hurt him. The crowd are going wild. The media's going wild. Harry's going wild. You walk back to your corner. You sit on your stool. What's going through your mind?
I'm certainly upsetting now. Everything's going through my mind, yeah. Excited and whatever, yeah. But I went in there, I can't remember myself and stand there and telling the Hebrew gibbery, best man mind, and can't say no more than that,
It was disappointing for us though, wasn't it, Julian? Because the whole of the British media and fight fans, we wanted Frank to do this battle, man, didn't we?
We thought Frank had everything, and first round he showed everything. And as he went on, it was just tough. And the way you're talking, Frank, I heard you talk before, and it's, you knew you had a weapon on your hands when you did hurt him. And
Yeah, I did, tilted him, it didn't tilt. Like he had a few grams of that. He's the oldest rock. He's a nasty bit of work. He's a nasty chap.
I mean, one thing that I've heard over the years, and speaking to other boxing people, is actually you can't underestimate Tyson was kept like a cage animal between fights, locked in a hotel room, stuff like that, and he was a bad man anyway. So,
Yeah. Bad man or bad man?
So Frank, by this stage of your career, you've had 2 tilts at the title.
Yeah.
You get a 3rd tilt at the title with the Battle of Britain, Lennox Lewis,
Yeah.
in Cardiff. And for people who don't know what we're talking about, get on YouTube. Anything we're talking about tonight, get on YouTube and check these out. Because, Julian, I think you'll agree with me. I don't know how Frank didn't win that fight.
Yeah, I mean that Lennox Lewis fight. Anyone in the room will remember that. It was, and like you say, watch it back. You know, watch it back. Talk about heavyweights now. People moan about fights now, but watch that fight back if you love boxing. You know, that's all I can say. And yeah, how you didn't get a result? Well, you know, I'm not a referee, but.
But you were way ahead, unfortunately, and it, you know, you were on top of him. You were putting him under pressure. But he got a lucky one. He did get a lucky one.
My head was unlucky to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Because, you know what I mean? So I tried my best and done what I had to do. But I was beating him, but my head didn't move at the wrong time.
You know, Frank, at this stage of your career, and again, Julian, I'll bring you in on this as well, is that...
Sorry, some people might not know what happened at the end of that fight. You know.
Yeah, tell him off.
Well, it didn't go Frank's way, but as he said, he was way ahead on points, and actually, you know, respect where it's due. He went on to do great things, as we all know as well. But yeah.
Oh yeah, Lennox was a great fighter. A great fighter, no two ways about that. Not quite British, but there you go. We'll pass on that one.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. But again, I'll bring you in on this one, Julian, as well, because at this stage, ladies and gentlemen, we were desperate for this fella next to me and Julian to become champion of the world. It wasn't happening for you, mate, and we still believe, I think the fight fans still believe you could do it, but the media was starting to turn by this stage. Your own management started to doubt you. Your wife said, Frank, you should be packing it in. What drove you on, Frank?
I just wanted to win the World Championship. If I touched the belt, won it. Got part of history, just wanted to win the World Championship. I should have packed up a long time ago, but if I packed up a long time ago, I would have been one of those miserable so-and-sos. I wish I could have stayed this, I wish I could have done that. That's why I persevered and went forward. And, you know what I mean, won the dream of my dreams, you know what I mean? But yeah, got it, I'm part of history. They can't take that away from me.
He's the epitome of not giving up, because Frank's fight career, ladies and gentlemen, was 45 fights, 40 wins, 38 knockouts, and I don't care whose fight record you look at in the heavyweights. Look at Tyson's, it's not better than that. It's still a fantastic fight record. That deserves a round of applause.
Won the World Championship.
I think about 42, or was there 43? I can't count.
Yeah.
It was 43 because that was your 44th fight, and then of course you fought Tyson after that again. I think you'll agree with me though, Julian, that we still, didn't we? As punters, we wanted Frank to win it, didn't we?
And desperate.
But the media were being so cruel, weren't they?
Yeah. They were right to be cruel. Sometimes you can't always bum someone up or lift them up, you know, if someone's done something wrong. Just say they've done something wrong. And the press, some of them was on my side, some of them was against, but at the end of the day, they have to do their job and see it as they can see it, you know.
Absolutely. Well, we've done the bad bits. Yeah, that's it. Going in. We've done the bad bits.
Yeah.
Let's get to the good bits, shall we?
Yeah,
Let's wheel it on, ladies and gentlemen. September 1995, a packed Wembley Stadium where this guy takes on Oliver McCall.
Yeah.
Now, Oliver McCall, the Atomic Bull, he'd done something he hadn't done. He'd actually beaten Lennox Lewis to take the title. And again, a very underrated fighter. Julian?
Well, I mean, it was a real shock when he beat Lennox Lewis, Oliver McCall, and it actually showed that he had more mettle than people were giving him credit for, really. And so then, you know, it's fair to say the media were putting doubts around Frank beating Oliver McCall, but see, Frank was a much better boxer, much, you know, done more, and I'll hand back to you.
Well, you're absolutely right, but Frank was not favourite for this fight by a long shot, and McCall had done really, really well, to be fair to himself. He was a strange guy. Again, someone you sparred with in your early days.
In my early days, I used to spar with him. He was a man as that. He's a man. He's just some guy that if the police come in here, there could be about 10 police, but he's so mad, and the strength that he's got, he's a dangerous youth. He's a danger to himself. Yeah, not dangerous to anybody else. You know, but he's a madman, but he knows how to fight. He knows how to look after himself. He doesn't like he's crazy,
I think it's true to say, we'll start this bit by allegedly, Julian. It's fair to say that when you got the job done, Don King would not allow a drug test to happen.
I would never be in the ring with a more stronger person. Even I went to the zoo and you look at a gorilla, how strong they are. That's what he was like when he was in the ring with a gorilla. I've never seen someone so
And you think,
strong and, you know what I mean?
you think has a little bit of medical
I'm
help,
not
you
too
say?
sure. He must have had something medical, literally. But it didn't bloody help him.
Certainly didn't, mate, certainly didn't. And he was a strange guy, wasn't he? He used to come into the ring crying.
I think Duncan used to wind him up about the fight said something about your mum, etc. And then he'd wind him up even more to go destroy the guy. You know what I mean? Chin him as quick as he could.
Julian, do you remember the
He
fight?
doesn't remember Oliver McCall, that the modern equivalent, I suppose, is Dante Wilder. A bit wild with his punches,
Yeah.
a bit of an animal, a bit, you
I
know.
think Wilder had a more polisher style. He had a good jab, but he got a good right hand, but he had heart, Oliver McCall. Very much, not too much heart. He was chief sparring partner for Mike Tyson for ages. Very dangerous guy.
And it's worth remembering that when you sparred with Oliver McCall when you were younger, he detached your retina.
Yeah,
He used to leave in his thumb, ladies and gentlemen, so he tore his retina. And he did exactly the same thing in this fight in the first round. The fight of your life.
Right.
I mean, none of us have been in that position. Before you go into the ring, Frank, you're in the tunnel at Wembley.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind? Is it you're worried, you're frightened, are you confident?
Everything. It was confident, worried, jumpy, nervous. Should I be in this sport? What am I doing now? In the dressing room, you know what I mean? What madness am I doing this for? As soon as you get out there, someone punching them out, it all goes out the way. You've got to get him as much as you can get to, you know?
I think you described that well in your documentary, and in the book you touch on that. About, you know, it was that chance you had again to get your dream, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely right. So, ladies and gentlemen, September 1995 was the night that our very, very special guest star managed to get his hands on this little beauty, ladies and gentlemen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a replica belt, okay? The real one hangs on Frank's wall in Leighton Buzzard. Well, you hope it does. But what we try and do, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned before, Frank does run the Frank Bruno Foundation. And what we try and do is auction these belts off at the end of the night and make a donation to the foundation. So, ladies and gentlemen, when we get the awards out the way and what have you, we'll maybe look at auctioning that later on. Part of the deal is Frank will sign it for you. He will then personalise it to you, and of course you get a photo with him as well and take away a little piece of boxing history, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, this man is the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. Oh, yes. But Julian, I'll bring this over to you because, like I didn't know Frank then. I was just a fight fan. We were all absolutely over the moon. I'm sure you were too.
Oh, mentors. Also, you've got to remember at that time we hadn't had a heavyweight champion of the world for as long as whenever. So it was something else, and the doubters turned, and you know everyone was euphoria around you, Frank.
Yeah.
You could never walk down the street again the same way. I think it's fair to say.
Down the street. And they bother that on undercover.
But at this stage of his career, Frank Bruno was the second most famous person in the UK by poll, only to Diana, Princess of Wales. So that's how high he was in the British consciousness at that time. Frank, we haven't really got time to delve into the rest of your life, but we need to just touch on, if it's all right with you, Julian, the mental health aspect here, because guys, if you just at this point of your career, when you retired, you had a mandatory defence of your title. You had to fight Mike Tyson. That was in the contract. We haven't got time to go into why that happened. That didn't go your way. You still had a detached retina, so that was the end of your glorious career. At this point, your life started to change dramatically, Frank. It's a difficult time. Many of the ladies and gentlemen were read in the papers, should we say, the lower end of the papers, about your time then. You were sectioned at that stage of your career, but you fought your way back, and he looks amazing, doesn't he, ladies and gentlemen? Your foundation is doing fantastic work as well, because you're trying to put something back, which is quite amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about that part of your life, Frank?
It's helping people who go through mental health. Men don't talk about their side effects, or they're going through mental health, or going through a breakdown. Women do. They get off their plate, cry together, dance together, do it for the sisters and all that business, but they cry and get the emotion. Men keep the emotion in. So just trying to help people come down the gym, do some boxing, training, hit the pads. If you don't fancy hitting the pads, just sit down at the canteen now, make you a cup of tea, just get you, unload all the negative pressure what you got on there, and just come down there. I think it's a very good gym. But everybody goes down there from about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to about 9, 9. It's a good gym.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the people who have actually bought Frank's book. You do say in the book about this particular part of your life, how you fought your way back. You were sectioned at this point of your life 3 or 4 times. It was a very difficult time for you. How did you fight your way back, Frank?
I just trained very, very hard, kept right, and just kept away from crazy negative people. Because sometimes in the winter, people suffer from mental health more badder in the winter than during the summer. So it's just men especially, not disrespecting the women, because they're very, very special to women, but men suffer much more than the women does, and that men are too pride to really let go and tell people, in case people start taking the piss out of them or anything like that, you know?
You're right. And ladies and gentlemen, in your own industry, we do a lot of mental health days together, don't we, Frank, and what have you. In your own industry, you may have one of your workmates, one of your colleagues, somebody who works for you, maybe struggling, maybe your mate you drink in the pub with, maybe a member of your family is struggling with mental health. There's loads and loads and loads of help out there, ladies and gentlemen, so please reach out, help each other out in this aspect. It is okay to not be okay, ladies and gentlemen, so reach out there. Frank's doing his bit with the foundation and what have you, but there's help everywhere these days, so do not suffer in silence. You agree, Frank? Well, Julian, you've been an absolute joy to work with, my friend. We should do this more often.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need to get into the awards now, but I think just before we finish, Frank, I think there's one question I think I'm going to ask here, if you don't mind, Julian, on behalf of all the audience, because I think a lot of people would like to know the answer to this question, just to finish this before we get into the awards. And that you've fought some monsters in your time. We mentioned Jumbo Cummins, James Bone Crusher Smith, Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, Joe Bugner we mentioned, and people like that, and of course Oliver McCall. You fought 45 monsters. I think what the NADC industry would like to know, ladies and gentlemen, is that who hit Frank Bruno the hardest?
The tax man.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one,